Flosstube. This is Tanya Kleckner, reintroducing myself after a stretch of time. This is episode number 5 of the Zen Stitcher, and I call myself the Zen Stitcher, probably only on Flosstube, but that's because stitching really puts me in a state of calm. 4 years ago, I started this video, and then life got a little complicated. My parents both got sick and passed away within a year and a half of each other. And then, of course, we were in the middle of COVID. And while I continued to stitch throughout because it calmed my nerves and my emotions, I just didn't feel like getting on the video and talking to you all about my stitching. It just didn't feel right for me. But in the past 8 months, I've retired and I have a little more time on my hands, and I've been inspired by a few of my friends who have just recently started their floss tubes, and it just got me to think about sharing my work again. So a big shout out to Sarah's Stitching Spot. Her videos are amazing, and I think she's on episode 3. Another big shout out to Barry from Stitch Folk, who's also, I think, done 3 episodes, and to Grace, the Paisley Stitcher, who just started her floss tube. All 3 of those gals are amazing. They're amazing stitchers. I had the privilege of meeting them last February in Arizona, and it's just been so fun to see their work and see them on Flosstube. Okay, so let's see. Little bit about me. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in the Twin Cities, and after I graduated from college with a degree in nutrition, I moved to New York City to do an internship, and then met my husband, and then just ended up staying here and got married. After we were married for about a year, we were transferred to London, so I had a really fun time living abroad for about 5 years. We traveled a lot, but at that time I really wasn't stitching, and now that I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking that I didn't go to the Royal School of Needlework? I don't know. Anyway, we got back to the States in 1995. We settled back in Brooklyn again, and then started our family. I have 2 boys who are in college, and I have 2 cats, Baby and Bing, who I hope will make appearances, but they're kind of shy. Baby's huge, and Bing is tiny, and Bing is a polydactyl. So, oh my gosh, I know I've probably said this before, but his front paws are just the most delicious, adorable things on earth. Let's see, a few other things about me. Mostly what I stitch are samplers, but I will stitch other things, and I do like to do embroidery, and like many of you, I like to do other little crafts, so once in a while I'll dabble in something other than stitching, and I'll share those things with you on occasion. I also adore flowers, so if anyone were to pick up my iPhone, they would see gazillion pictures of flowers. I'll take pictures of wildflowers, take pictures of flowers on my walks, and I'll take pictures of flowers in my gardens. I love to grow amaryllis, flowers. So every year around Christmas, I order a new bulb, but I also keep my old bulbs. And in the summer, I put them outside, and then they bloom again outside. So it's just really fun to kind of continue that thing going. I have a garden in the back, so I'll occasionally shoot some photos of those. I love to bake. And what else? Love to travel. So maybe I'll occasionally show some photos of my my travels. So that's really it about me. I hope you enjoy my channel, and let's get started. Okay, so what am I working on? The first thing I'd like to show you, I just reviewed my first clip, and I say way too much. I'm going to try not to do that. The first chart I'm going to show you is this one, the Heart Full of Gratitude by Cottage Garden. I'm going to stitch this, or I am stitching this for my sister because she did so much for my mom and dad when they were sick, and I am full of gratitude for all that she did to help them and get us through a very difficult time. I've made a few changes to this chart. I'm stitching on 46 count. I'm not sure of the name of the linen or the color. And I'm not crazy about that, that house. So I'm not stitching the house, but I have stitched some very little hearts that also are in this section here. It's very difficult to see on the picture here. So I'll show you my progress. This is a very fun stitch, and the colors are so pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay. I did make a substitution for that dark color. The chart calls for black, and I am using a bluish black. I think it's Old Crow, and it isn't quite as dark as the black. I really like how it's coming out. And you can maybe make out those little hearts just off of the breast of the bird. I made a little bit of an adjustment to this area here as well. I had to kind of make a different branch coming off of those leaves. So that is a fun project, and I can't wait to finish it and give it to my sister. The next chart that I'm working on is Florentine Picard from 1841, and this I downloaded from the internet. Creative Poppy, and the reproductionist is Miriam Chauvet. I think that's how you pronounce her name. By Couleur Tourterelle. My French is very rusty from high school. This is another beautiful stitch. I'm using DMC on 40 count linen. I'm sorry, I don't know the color of the linen or where I got it from. It's possible it's X-Jute, but I'm not 100% on that. Oh, thanks. My two magnets are sticking together. There we go. Okay, so that's my progress. It's very, very pretty. The colors are so delicate, especially in that church. I'm about halfway done with this sampler and just loving it. I really love the design and love the motifs. It's fun. The angels. There's a cat. There's some men in the church, I guess, standing guard. So halfway done. That should be done soon. The last chart I'm going to show you that I'm working on, although I haven't picked it up in a while. Birds of a Feather by Blackbird. So I love this chart. I think it's really charted beautifully. However, when I saw what the original antique looked like, I decided to modify it and use this antique as a guide for stitching. So I haven't stitched any of the alphabet within the chart, and I also wasn't able to get any, well, I should back up. When I wanted to start it, I went to Michael's to get the DMCs. They didn't have the same DMC. They didn't have the charted for DMCs at Michael's that day. And I was desperate to get started, so I just picked a bunch of threads that I thought would work. So that's a long way of saying I've made a lot of modifications to this chart. But it's been really fun, and I'm almost done with it too. I should really get back to it because I really don't have much left to do. But how fun! Look, it's very wonky. That border is so much fun because every little element is different, and I like that. I think this would qualify as a wabi-sabi sampler, as Teresa Vinette would call it. So I have a lot of other whips, but I'm going to keep it to 3 today. Okay. I thought I'd also just dive into my stash and show you some charts that I want to stitch coming up sometime soon. I don't know when, but I'll just pause for a moment to get those. Okay, so I'm back, and the first chart I want to show you that's in my queue is another GGR, Isabella Fox. I love GGR's charts. They are so unique. I feel like she has an eye for really unusual samplers. And a friend of mine, upstate New York, showed me her stitched Isabella Fox. It was just stunning. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty in person. And once you stitch it up, I'm really looking forward to getting started on this. And I think my friend Krista and I are going to, well, at one time we were going to do it together, but I have to ask her if she still wants to stitch along with me. I don't know when I'll start it, but it's definitely high up there in the stitching queue. The next chart is called Janet Gibson's Scottish Swan Sampler from Hope's Dwelling Place. This one is out of print, and I'm sorry to show you something that's out of print. I tend to buy a lot of my charts secondhand. I don't have a shop near me, and so it kind of started when I got back into stitching and I needed charts to stitch, and I don't have a shop, so I started looking at secondhand sites on Facebook and eBay and sometimes Etsy. So you will find this every once in a while out there, but just a really beautiful Scottish sampler, and I love the letters with those curly cues, and the swan is pretty, and then there's where is it? I think it's a cat, and then bunnies and deer, very pretty. The final chart that I'd like to share with you that's in my stitching queue is another chart that is out of print. And again, just because it's out of print doesn't mean you can't get it. And sometimes you have to wait. But this one is so unique as well. reminds me a little bit of the one I'm currently stitching by Miriam Chauvet. I'll show you a bigger picture of it from the inside. I only have photos of the antique, which are a little dark. Oops, sorry. But lots of interesting motifs and flower pots and birds on trees. And then that middle urn or altar, I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I love this sampler. I think I'm going to have to start it pretty soon. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. So that's really all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to be back in a couple of weeks with more of my projects and more of my finishes, and maybe a few more charts from my stash that I can share. Happy stitching, and I'll see you later. Okay, so I had to stop filming because my bell rang, and I just got the most exciting thing in the mail today. I'm so excited. So I stitched Bridget Power by Gigi R, and I sent it out to be framed. And look what came in the mail today! Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't hold this straight. Can't do this. There we go. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Oh, I love that sampler so much. Wow. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So I have a ton of other samplers to frame, and this is a new framer I've tried. So I think she did a great job. It's Mainframe in where is it? Mainframe in Middletown, New York. Mainframe custom framing. Yeah, isn't that pretty? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She did a great job. Okay, sorry. Oh, I don't know what else to say. I'm so excited. Plans for the next couple of weeks. Going to try and finish the gratitude little piece that I'm working on for my sister. I've got a few other samplers that I want to get back to, and then I can share those with you the next time I come back. And I think that's it, really. I think I'm babbling, so I'm going to stop. So thanks for coming by today, and I hope to see you in a couple of weeks.